So, as always, y'all, welcome to the show. I am your host, Marcel, known as the Wealth Mentor, and this is the Wealthy Sibling. Where we talk about the good, the bad, and the entrepreneur, the journey of becoming the successful wealthy sibling or wealthy relative. And one of the things I realized that we don't talk about, which is why I brought an expert on today, to really explain the heaviness of this journey. You know how they say the crown can be heavy. So I brought my good brother, Mr. Outreach. I'm gonna let him give a little bit more background by himself. But he is a certified therapist. Aaron, go ahead.
Oh man, thank you, bro, for having me on the show. First of all, it's my
Yeah.
pleasure. We've been trying to get this thing going. But yeah, to hop right in, you're right. I'm an associate licensed marriage and family therapist, which essentially means I had to go to school, get my master's, go through supervision hours, go through an internship, to actually sit down with people and help them through their experiences that they might be dealing with.
So it's funny that we starting off here because I really did have this question. Like what led you to build the brand and call yourself like Mr. Outreach?
Mm. I always had a heart and passion for being in the community. I always had a heart and passion for service. So, um, lending a hand, Mr. Outreach, the impact of community work always stuck out to me, even as a little boy. Like I remember telling my
Mm.
mom, well, my grandmother, when I was like 7, like Granny, I'm gonna help a lot of people, and I'm gonna have a center, and I'm gonna help people come to my center and help them. I remember that. I remember me saying that as a little boy. So I always had this innate spirit of service.
Okay. No, I mean that's dope. Similar to like the conversations I have with me and my uncle. So we would talk about entrepreneurship and like just being successful men in our family. And we talk about our dreams of owning like 2, 3 buildings and just these versions that you hear about in entrepreneurship and becoming wealthy all the time. So I definitely understand that. So as somebody who because we're in the age of content creation, and I do believe that making podcasts, making content should be a part of everybody's business at this point. So like when you step into the space of influence, how do you manage maybe pressures of other pressures of your industry or even pressures of yourself um while you're doing your work?
Man, I go back to a simple model of people. I think people overcomplicate what's their why. I think, people get so caught into what they're seeing. Like you said, I agree with you. Everybody should have, some form of content, social media presence, podcast. It's just the way of the world. It's like when TVs first came out. You only had a few, and now everybody, you can't walk in nobody's house without a TV, right? And so I think
Yeah.
I think this is the way of the world, right? Content creation, podcasting,
Mhm.
um, and for me, how I ground myself by not really feeling that external pressure that you're talking about from seeing what other people are doing is I ground myself in what's my why, what's my love, right? What's my purpose, and that allows me to center myself to focus on what I'm doing.
Okay. Um Now if you if you don't mind, I'd love to have a mini session. That way, whoever watches can really get into the space of why therapy is important, especially as an entrepreneur. And one example, this actually was a show. I believe it was called. It might have been called Severance, but there was a sitcom, a series that came out not too long ago, and it's about the relationship between like four friends, and one of their friends was a very wealthy man, businessman, and he ended up taking his own life. And a lot of friends didn't understand it because, again, this goes back to the perception of when you become successful in any manner, not just like a billionaire, whether you are a lawyer, when your family deems you successful, they don't think that you stress or you have woes or you have worries. So, um, what was the time that you had like heavy emotional moments, mental moments, and like what was going on then? How did you find your way out?
Man, that's a heavy question. It's interesting. I was a keynote speaker yesterday for literally with that same question for an organization called the Forgiveness Mission and the Salvation Army here in Chicago. And during this keynote, I really was talking to the audience and exploring a time where I felt really lonely, really depressed, and I gave them 3 points to get out of that state of mind. So 2 years ago, a little bit going over 2 years ago, my best friend experienced death by suicide. My brother, while I was
Yeah,
actually going through completing my master's to become a therapist, while also transitioning out of being a police officer in Chicago. So imagine this window
hmm
of, you know, a 45-day window of transitioning a job, leaving a job. You talk about benefits, you talk about steady income. It allowed me this particular
people look
job
as a
allowed
career. Yeah.
career. This particular job
hmm
allowed me to get my first property um, here in Chicago. And I put that down to follow my dream and passion. And then while I'm going into the mental health field, my brother experienced death by suicide. That was a low point for me. That was a low point for me.
hmm
And, it was very difficult. And the three things that I, was expressing to the audience yesterday um, was how do you actually prioritize your mental health, right? What does that actually look like? Do you understand how to identify your emotions? And then the third one, how can you release? So I give your audience a quick thought process. Being able to prioritize how I was able to prioritize my mental health. I stay in contact with good brothers like you. I stay in environments that allow me to always hear a positive perspective. A lot of times people become isolated. So they stop prioritizing their mental health. They stop getting around folks that can pour into them. I never stopped, right? The second thing, identifying my, emotions. A quick snippet for your audience that I want them to take away. A lot of times, I'm gonna give you a quick education. A lot of times, people stay in a secondary
hmm
emotion versus primary emotion, right? Your primary emotion is the main emotion that you feel. It's the primary emotion. It's the emotion that you actually are experiencing. Your secondary emotion tries to protect your primary emotion. So, for example, when my brother
Okay.
experienced death by suicide, I was I was I was frustrated. I was confused. This was my secondary emotion. But really, what
Okay.
was going on for me, my primary emotion, I was sad. I had somebody ask me, and this helped me identify my emotion. He said, "I know you're angry, but what's really happening for you?" And when I was able to think what was really happening for me, I was able to say I'm sad. This is pivotal. This is pivotal for people when they going through hard times because it's hard to live in anger and frustration and worry, and it's hard to live in that. But when you can identify and say, "Oh, I'm sad," like it makes sense for me to be sad.
Yeah.
So with me saying that, identifying, my emotions help staying in an environment of prioritizing my mental health, and the third one, releasing. I
hmm
combined the first two, and I was able to say, hey, it makes sense for me to be sad. I need to continue to stay around my environment, and I need to stay connected to my why and purpose. I couldn't die with my brother. I had to live for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I get that, and thank you for sharing it. I hope everybody took notes for the parts that were educational, but just sat, even if you needed to hear that yourself, that there's a way out. For me, um, it was more so my personal experience. And what ended up happening was when I rang the bell for the Almighty to see if this was the moment for me to come with Him or for me to stay on this earth. Um, Everybody answered the call, so He sent His angels in the form of like, and not to be spiritual for y'all, but truly like when I called on my father, who and it was so funny because I was talking to another good brother, and he asked me about the journey between me and my father because it was estranged, right? So there was a level of I didn't depend on him in moments early in my life to where like when I called, he answered. My father came, my oldest friend, my brother came, and my mother came. And they walked me back and they told me that there's a space in it, there's a place for me, and that I'm worthy, essentially. So they walked me out. They and then I I quit everything. So I quit drinking, quit smoking, quit these habits that I was using while I was going down this bad depression and path. So I quit all those things out, and then I reiterated those words as I started to get up out the bed because I wasn't even going to work. Um, like it was bad. I looked up and had what they call it, had PTO because I was not I physically could not get up and go to work at the time. So I definitely understand that when you find things or people that helps you outside of your own strength and God willing to get you out of those spaces. I think that that's really important. Um, what would be and oh the other thing the good brother told me when I spoke about my dad was journaling. He asked me about journaling. So with that, what are some weekly practices from your experience and expertise that you would say to help keep people in a positive space so they don't go down those dark paths?
Man, beautiful question. I think, you just hit on one, journaling, writing their thoughts down, saying them out loud. I think it's something about getting it out your body, out of your mouth, out of your head, because a lot of people internalize how they're feeling. And one thing about internalization that people don't talk about, like we hear the word, but one thing that we need to really talk about more is they say, and I think it's 80%, it could be more, but 80% of your thoughts are repetitive. So the thoughts that you were thinking about yesterday, 80% of them you're gonna think about the next day. So imagine if yesterday you were thinking negative thoughts and the next day you're gonna think about 80% of those same thoughts. How detrimental is that on your mental health? And so saying it out loud, getting it out your body, writing it down, now you can be aware of like, what am I actually thinking? And then how can I input something else? So the next thing to that is after you write it down, after you say it out loud, after you hear yourself, you can really say, should I be like putting something else in? Should I be saying something else? And so that's when you get around conversations like this, because now this conversation is going to allow us to think about it tomorrow. If we just talking about
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
science and we're just saying they did research on brain waves that say 80% of your thoughts we're going to be thinking about tomorrow, that means I'm going to be thinking like, man, I did a podcast on Marcel podcast. I'm going to be thinking about that tomorrow. So what are you inputting in your
yeah,
body on a daily basis? Is it an affirmation? Is it a podcast? Is it a prayer? Is it, what is something that you're actually putting in so you can start having on auto repeat? And so those two things I say will be really important. Um, Another thing, man, that and this I guess would be my last one. Um,
mhm,
it's maybe not a daily practice, but it's most definitely a weekly practice. If you don't have a therapist or a mentor or a coach, you need to get one.
yeah,
If you're looking for to take your life to the next level financially, why are you not with Coach Marcel? Right? Like if you like if you looking to help your mental health, why aren't you seeing a therapist? If you're looking to just perform better in your life or take your life to the next level in general, why don't you have a mentor? And that's a
Yeah.
weekly practice that allow you to sit with somebody, process your thoughts, and help you think through and gain clarity.
No, man, I agree. And if you think you got it all, especially from an entrepreneurial standpoint, um, nobody had it all in the beginning. Everybody that you know as a great, whether it's in your industry or others, had a coach, had a mentor, had somebody like MJ had Phil Jackson.
Hmm.
Number one Uno, the goat of an era, had a coach, had somebody to train him, no matter how talented he was. Um, but also you need a community,
Hmm.
and especially as an entrepreneur. So I one of the things that I love about like Chancellor mentoring, our brotherhood, next level specifically for us as speakers, I had a community for the moments when I had doubt or stress about where I want to be, where I see my career, where I see my life. Because a lot of times us as entrepreneurs, we feel like don't nobody understand, which goes back to why we go down into depression and things of that nature, because we feel like, but nobody understands the dream that I'm chasing. Nobody understands the deadlines, my projects, all the things that go into my business. They think that I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, and a lot of times you really, really do need a community. So I'm able to call on you, Brother Ernest, and just be like, hey, I can reflect on it's okay if I haven't accomplished this set of goals yet. Just are you doing the work and having an accountability partner? So in similar moments, like who do you lean on and call on, and how do those relationships support you in your journey?
Man, I don't know if that's a rhetorical question, but you one of those people,
Yeah, I know.
right? You one of
Thank you,
those
man.
people for me, man. And I truly have built a genuine relationship where I feel safe. I think,
Appreciate that.
my therapist hat is on right now. I think I want to just tell people, like, you will know when you have an authentic relationship. It'll just feel right. It feels right, right? When I'm around you, it feel right. Like my spirit isn't wavered. I don't feel shaky. I don't feel like I should say the right thing, do the right thing to impress you. I can just be me, right? I
Mhm.
got other people in my corner, amazing people, like yourself in the world of therapy. Listen, I'm so heavily interested in coaching. I got 3 supervisors that I pay for
Wow.
to make sure I'm the best version of myself as a therapist. Our CEO and leader of our mentoring program that you'll just acknowledging Championship mentoring. The brotherhood within
Yeah.
that. It's interesting. The community of people that I'm able to lean on, it goes back to my point one. It aligns with when you ask me, how do I stay focused without the internal pressures? It aligns with my why. I like to serve.
Mhm.
So I'm around people that like to serve. And so I let those people pour into me. I I want to make a change on being a black male therapist, and I allow the my coaches, my supervisors to pour into me. So I'm always in my lane, and when I'm in my lane, I allow those people that's in my lane to pour into me.
So I love that you said that. I appreciate all those words. Um, I'm gonna ask this question because it's sort of tailored to the last one, but I want to ask this question from um, a person, especially because we go on stages, but also a person who may feel that they need to present or perform in life, right? How do you present to a wide audience while maintaining like your authenticity, when the world may be messy in moments, right? Let's say the world may have fallen apart and you got to go on stage in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think I learned a very hard lesson from just years of experience. Anytime I'm speaking to our mentoring organization, I could be speaking to 30, 40 boys at a given time. Anytime like I'm practicing my craft, I could be speaking to therapists doing a presentation, um, or audience in general, like I did yesterday. The thing I figured out that allowed me to stay true to myself and and stay authentic in my approach, it's just actually harder not to. Imagine being yourself 24 hours a day, and now you got to tell yourself, I need you to be somebody different in this very moment. That's difficult because the body is like,
It's wild,
uh,
yeah.
I, I only know how to do this. I've been doing this for years, which is I've just been Aaron for years. Like, and
Yeah.
so once I realized, like, it's actually harder trying to be somebody else, be something else for somebody. Just be yourself because that's the easiest thing to do anyway. That's the thing that people relate to anyway. Like right now, I'm comfortable with being on your podcast right now because I'm just being myself. And so I
Yeah.
want people
Yeah,
to
for sure.
like speaking, like presentations, like yo, just be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, man, just do it. I think especially in the age of like the internet, people think that you have to perform. People would tell me I need to make this type of content. I need to do this because I look like such and such. And I would just be like, what do you mean? I would just be like, why do I have to put this performance on just because you think this works? When I know just being me has gotten me somewhere. You know, me and me has won awards. I've gotten on shows. I've won contests. Like just being me and turning on the camera or going on the stage, and I've been awarded through that.
It's
So,
crazy too. If I can add,
mhm.
people don't think of. I never hear people say this. We can learn from others for sure. We can see what people doing, maybe tailor things. But one thing we know for a fact, this is like a fact, like undisputed. It's only one Aaron Williams out of a billion trillion people. However many people it's not another duplicate of me. So
Yeah,
higher power, God, whatever your source is, like it's only one of you. And so people need that one version of humans are the most unique thing on the planet because we're not duplicated. It's only one of us.
yeah. No, I agree. So remember that, y'all. It's only one of you. So go out into the world, cherish every moment you have, and express the one of you, the one and only of you, for sure. Um, so one of my next questions is actually going to be tailored into finance and your entrepreneurial perspective because you talked about real estate and using a former career to buy your first home. So from your perspective, how should someone who's walking into financial growth think or prepare with emotional maturity while they're going into legacy and generational building and healing?
Man, I can't get away from it. It's funny you said that. I'm helping my sister right now, coaching her to get her first property in Houston. And she told me, I told her, she said, "Hey, bro, I know you're my brother, but I want to use you as my mentor. Like, I want you to help me go to the next level." The thing I told her, I said, "Hey, I need you to go buy a course. I need you to buy this course because I need you to get comfortable investing in yourself. Because if you can't get comfortable investing in yourself, how do you think you're going to react when you go invest in a property and it doesn't go good, or when you think it's supposed to look a certain way and it doesn't look a certain way? If you're not comfortable investing in yourself, trust me, it's going to be very difficult to go invest in something else." So she was like,
Man,
But I can just learn from you." I'm like, you can, and your learning
Yeah.
gap, and I'm teaching you right now. And so when I told her, like, hey, if you saying you learning from me, this is what I would tell you to do. She said, got it. I am learning from you. So if this is what my coach telling me to do, I need to go do that. From a wealth perspective and a wealth journey, we said it already. Listen, y'all, don't play with it. Go get you a mentor or a coach. Like I had, like me and my wife literally had strategies to get in real estate. She left her job, career job, to go become a real estate agent so we can understand the ins and out of real estate. And that was only for a season. She's not a real estate agent anymore. It was a strategy. And then we had
Hmm.
other people coaching us along the
I hope
way.
y'all caught that. Hmm.
So we all, so my plea to your audience is, when you think about building wealth, so many people done it before us. Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? Go get the coaching and listen to the coach. Like when a coach tell you to go buy a course, and that course might be $1,000, go buy the course, because it's literally for a reason.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's tried and true. It's testaments, it's testimonies, it's proven things that work there. You just also have to take the proven things and prove it to yourself and believe in it.
Yeah, and the
Go
biggest
get the
thing,
course.
and like you just said, the biggest thing was I needed my sister to believe in herself. That's why I told her to get the course, like, because you have to believe in yourself to go spend $1,000 on a course. Because now you got to say, yo, can I make that back? Can I be strategic enough? Can I stay disciplined long enough to make that back, or will I waste my money?
Yeah, no, for real. So, um, with that, wow, you've there were so many gems in that. Honestly, I want to sit there for a minute. Number one, you had family members, especially from a cultural perspective, which is why we talked about like being a wealthy sibling, because usually you're the only one in your family who was striving for this type of success. So to see your sibling, honor, believe, and respect you enough to say, "Hey, I know you've mastered this. I've seen you do it. Can you teach me?" And actually and say it out loud. Metaphorically say it at the dinner table. Hey, I'm trying to figure out how to be successful like you. Can you help me as a family? And I think that in itself is very, very powerful. That's extremely powerful. Then number two, be upfront with yourself. If you don't know it, go get the curriculums, go get the coaching. That way you can change the generational direction of your entire family. Even if you have to be the first one to do it, but at least go and do it. And then that way, now you've cemented it in the concrete that this is possible for our entire family to do. So, with that being said, for you, Aaron, looking forward, what do you want your mental emotional relationship with success? What do you want your journey with success to look like in 5 to 10 years from now? And then what lessons do you hope your siblings or family will get from your journey?
Mm.
So, and essentially, it's what will your money story be like? Because we always say on the show, every family has a money story. Now, but what will yours be like in the next 5 to 10 years?
I hear a lot of people say, like, I love this question, especially I'm on the Wealthy Sibling Podcast, y'all. Look, I love this question because I don't hear a lot of people say this, but this is passionate for me. I want to be the matriarch of my family. You know how you got Big Mama, you know how you got Papa.
Yeah,
Like everybody respect Papa and Big Mama. They go to their house, right? I don't care what nationality generate, like culture,
yeah.
ethnicity you come from. You got the
Everybody's like that.
grandma
Humans.
or
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
grandfather that everybody gather at their place. In 5 years, I want to be that because I am the oldest sibling. I'm the oldest sibling out of all my siblings. Out of all my siblings, I'm the only one with kids right now. All of my other siblings are in their early 20s. And so I want to be able to tell all my siblings, we got to sit at the round table and everybody listen. my dad, my mom, my grandmother, replacing the matriarch. Everybody, I need y'all to
Mm.
listen. This is how we gonna do it, and this why. The only way I can do that is
Woo.
if I continue to get results, because I want to tell the audience,
Yeah.
do all this talking all day long on social media. You can do all this talking all day long to your family, but if you're not getting tangible results, people don't care about nothing. Get you some results. So I'm in a process right now of getting results. So when my family look back and they say, "Why should we listen to Aaron?" One property, two property, three property, four property,
Yes,
five
sir.
property, commercial unit, commercial unit, and now person like, yeah, we should probably listen to Aaron. And so
Talk to him.
I'm in the
Yeah.
midst of building out the legacy to become the matriarch of my family.
Mm. Oh man. Yeah, no, that's my fault. I couldn't have said it no better, to be honest with you. I couldn't have said it no better. No, I totally agree. And it's funny, because I always felt like we was on a very same or similar mission. Um, because I seen my family be split. Some made good financial decisions but didn't share, and then some made bad financial decisions and ironically still didn't share. They didn't share their predicaments. The people who didn't share their success, and I think as when it comes to our family dynamic, that was a part of our detriment. And I wanted to be the one to change that. Whether I had to be the first one to do that, and then when you do come to me, of course, I'm gonna run you through the ring. I'm gonna say, hey, cut. Cuz, mom, dad, uncle, whoever, uh, I'm gonna walk you through it and help you as much as I can because I've gotten to this point to say I can able to do that. But at the same time, I want to know, like, are you prepared? Are you ready? Because I had to get prepared, and I think that we have to set the same type of standard when we do become the matriarch, the wealthy sibling, the successful brother and sister. Um, so man, with that, we talked about a lot. We talked about why therapy is so important, why the journey is so important, having a safe space is so important with people or even with yourself, how to be financially responsible and emotionally mature while you're going through this journey. So I think if people wanted to reach out to Aaron, if people wanted to want Mr. Outreach to be their coach, their person of guidance while they're going through their journey. Where can they find you? Like where can they reach you?
Look, y'all, he said it. Mr. Outreach on social media on Instagram. It could be under my also Aaron Williams. I'm giving y'all my government, right? Like I want y'all to know it's authentically me, Aaron Williams,
Clinically,
aka.
they want to.
All right, so y'all can reach out and find me on social media under Aaron Williams, aka Mr. Outreach.
Yeah, man. And so with that being said, we appreciate y'all for listening. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. And this is what I do. I bring on people who want to be the matriarchs who are on their journey to be successful or are successful and they have the expertise. So I open up what? I open up my $1 million network to you guys. So you can have the opportunity in this masterclass, in these moments, to sit and get these jewels on so many levels on how you can become the wealthy relative, the wealthy sibling. So make sure you go and grab my ebook right now on the $1 Million Network, and it's going to teach you, how to build your own circumference and $1 million success. With that being said, uh, every family has a money story, but you have to decide what will be yours. This is the Wealthy Sibling Podcast, and we will see y'all later.